What's happening, guys, and welcome to the Galactic Explorers Podcast. This is episode 47. We're counting down to episode 50. Yes, welcome, guys, and it's been a fairly busy week in gaming in general. I believe is it PAX East?
PAX West.
PAX West, what's on at the minute. So a lot of news and stuff has been being released and all that kind of good stuff. But first, and as always, I'm joined by Jeff. How are you doing, sir?
Not bad. How are you?
I am tired. But I'm also excited because my kids start going back to school next week.
Oh,
so yes, it's been a long 6 or 7 weeks off from school. So I'm looking forward to having a bit of downtime just to me and my youngest. But yes, I'm excited for that. And I'm also excited because Friday is Spider-Man Day. That's right. Spider-Man gets released on Friday, so
I'm mildly hyped for that. I need to see gameplay before I buy that.
Have you not seen the gameplay demos?
No, I have seen it. I just need reassurance that it's fully open world and not like open world from instance to instance.
Right.
I got the impression that it was like an instance to instance kind of gameplay with some open world qualities into it.
Yeah.
I remember the Spider-Man
Yep.
for earlier PlayStation where it was
Open world.
I think
Did
it
you
was
play
open-
Did you play the ones where it was open world but you couldn't go below a certain height level? Otherwise Spider-Man died.
No, I don't remember that. I just remember, you know what, this is so long ago too now. I mean, like, you know, you're talking
Yeah.
10 years ago or something like that. So I just remember it was mildly or closely resembling an open world type of game. And, like, I'm just afraid that this one isn't going to be as open world as I'd like it to be.
Yeah, I think when I first heard about it, I think for some reason I thought it was episodic. For some reason, I mean, I'm really wanting to play it for is for the open world, just to swing about, because that's just the best thing about Spider-Man.
See, that's my whole point. That's my whole point. Like, I'm fearful that it's not going to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, even if it is kind of instances, so rather than like fully open world, I'm hoping it's got a full open world separate part, and then even if it's just like each mission it's just a closed off part of it or something, I don't really mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, my main problem is the last game that I played by Insomniac was Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox, and I wasn't a fan of that. So I don't know what other games I've played that have been Insomniac games actually.
Like, I remember, like, one of my biggest disappointments in gaming, like, years ago was LA Noire, because that was made by Rockstar, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that seemed like such a cool game, but it was strictly instance to instance. Like, yeah, you could drive around in certain spots or whatever, but they made it too story instance to instance, and like that ruined that game for me.
What do you mean?
Everything.
I've got it on PC, and my girlfriend loves that game. Like every time they bring out a version of it, she gets it. I thought it was pretty much completely open world. You could just drive everywhere.
I mean, maybe they changed it since the last time I played it. I mean, I don't know, but it just seemed like it was you could drive around. Like there were points,
like the missions.
Like there were points where you could drive around. Yes, you can get into a car and you could drive places, but it was very story driven. Like you were driving to a, you know, and like, there's a lot of cutscenes, and I don't know. It wasn't like a typical. I mean, by this time, I believe was Grand Theft Auto 3 out by this point when LA Noire came out. I can't remember. I don't remember.
LA Noire came out on the 360, so it would have been past. Is GTA 5 the most recent one?
Yeah.
GTA 4. It would have been GTA 4 because GTA 3 was.
No, but GTA 3 was their first open world type of game.
Yeah, Rockstar. Like 3D. 3D. But obviously, don't forget though. I mean, the genre itself it's a noir film, isn't it? It's very, even like the films are very story based.
No, I get it. I just.
I mean, no. I think even during the missions, you can drive anywhere. I think, because there is an option. Because while you're driving around, to say in between, going from one, victim to another, like to the scene of the crime or whatever, you do get call outs to like other little crimes that you got to try and do, and they lead you all over the place in the city. So it is completely open. I just think it's not open as though in like the Grand Theft Auto terms where you go to the place to get the mission. It just starts off once you finish the previous mission. It'll start off like a week later, and you're doing something. And it just gives the appearance that it's instance based, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, I know what you mean. What we were talking about? Oh, Spider-Man. Yeah. So yes, that comes out on Friday, guys. As long as I can.
What's going on with games coming out on Fridays now? Like I always thought, like Tuesdays were like release dates for games and stuff.
Either Tuesdays or Thursdays over here for us. So it's got a thing for teas. But yeah, Friday's a bit of a weird one. I usually associate Tuesdays and Fridays for films. For us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So who knows?
It's just a dangerous thing to do it on a Friday, because if there's a lot of game breaking bugs, that means that you're telling people to play the broken game throughout the weekend. Where opposed if they release it earlier in the week, that gives them time to fix it before the weekend comes. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Sony put a lot of stock in this game. I mean, everyone's hyping about it. So I'm guessing they've worked their asses off to make it as much of a clean build as possible.
Right.
So, and they've also announced that the day one patch will also include a photo mode, which will be awesome for Spider-Man.
My biggest fear of Spider-Man is that I hope it's just not too millennial, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I've been watching, like, snippets of gameplay and stuff, and they're taking selfies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that it's not... I know they're trying to reach a younger generation of, like, the current generation of people, but, I mean...
See, my problem with Spider-Man, it's very much something that you grow out of, because the character's usually being considered a teenager, or, like, early adulthood age, and obviously you tend to grow out, whereas most other superhero characters are already adults anyway, don't they? And you tend to grow into them as you get older.
Like, I haven't even seen, like, the newest Spider-Man, just because it's not the real Spider-Man. Like, it's based off a kid in school. Like,
yeah, but
like a teenager.
Peter Parker was a kid in school.
Yeah, but no, but he didn't become Spider-Man while he was in high school.
Is this the comic book version?
Yeah, the actual real comic book of Spider-Man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what wasn't it? I mean,
when he was working,
knowledge, yeah, he was an intern, wasn't he, or something?
Yeah, he was intern for that newspaper or something like that.
Yeah. So obviously he was still at college, I suppose.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's semantical, I guess. But, I mean,
it's still education.
I guess.
But no.
But I mean,
I know what you mean. But even still, it's that age range that you still kind of grow out of. Everyone grows out of, like, the whole, because you kind of relate to someone who is whatever your age range is, don't you? And as a teenager, you tend to look at, like, Spider-Man and think, oh, I can relate to Spider-Man because he's a teenager or he's an early adult. But when you get older, we get past that age, you tend to also. So is the film like brought out as a prequel to the other movies, or what, the other Spider-Man films?
Yeah.
No. It's completely a separate thing.
So it's like they just rebooted the whole series then?
Yeah.
Wow,
it's really good, though.
I'm sure it is. I mean,
I was a bit like, oh, but when I watched it, it was really good.
We'll see.
But yeah, so I mean, this game is obviously not based on that version of Spider-Man anyway. So it's not Tom Holland's. It's not Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's a separate entity. So
I need to watch gameplay of Spider-Man when it comes out before I even make a purchase like that. Especially for me, because it's so close to Tomb Raider coming out.
Oh yeah, sure.
I don't have a lot of. I don't have like just money to throw at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So like, my money's already allocated to Tomb Raider, regardless of whatever comes out.
But it could be something on your future purchase list.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a thing where it would be: do I wait to buy it 2 weeks from that point, or do I wait to buy it when it's on sale, type of thing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really that necessary for me to buy that game? You know?
Well, I will let you know on Friday.
Awesome. Yeah,
Okay.
give me the insider scoop.
I will do. But let's get to the No Man's Sky news. So this week update, I want to say it was 1.58. Was it 1.58? Yes, 1.58 dropped, and it was the community events updates. Woo! So these promised community events that Sean mentioned, it was post-launch, wasn't it? It wasn't before the launch happened. Was it? Did he announce that we were having community events just before the launch of the update? Or was it like a week?
I mean, it was either 24 hours before or after. You know what I'm saying? Like it was right. You might as well just say it was at launch that he announced.
Basically, we didn't know until the launch of the next update that we were going to get community events, and they're pretty much inspired by what people have been doing in game anyway. So it's things like collecting buried resources and stuff like that.
The buried resources that they nerfed to hell.
Yeah.
That I don't ever do anymore because it's not worth the time.
Exactly. So yes, those kind of things. We've only had one so far. So, and they're going to be a weekly thing. It would seem. I'm just hoping they're going to be different things other than just, resource gathering.
I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do. I just don't know how many different events they could have.
Especially that regular as well, weekly.
The weekly events seems like a very optimistic thing on their end, but I think it's gonna be more like a bi-weekly thing, and I don't know. I mean, you know what? I'm sitting here saying that like I don't think there's going to be enough stuff, but then when these updates come out, I'm always surprised with what they put in.
Yeah.
So by me saying like, oh, I think they're just going to be fetch and gather missions or whatever, what else could they really do? Like, Hello Games comes out of nowhere and always surprises me one way or the other. So, I mean, I don't want to make a hasty decision thinking that they're going to be all kind of just that, but like me personally, like I just wonder, okay, what stuff do we do in the community other than like what things do we do as a group? Like, is it gonna be like a photo contest or fucking I don't know. I mean,
races
like find. I mean, yeah, that would be cool. I surprised they didn't lead off with that. Honestly, and I'm actually really surprised that no one has done any race events yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're aware Cobra does his Thunderdome, the PvP events. And those are really cool. I never ever see Hello Games embracing that. And I got a bunch of other crap to say along that, but I haven't seen anybody like set up designated race events yet, like how Cobra does his Thunderdome. I haven't seen someone really embrace the racing part of it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that's hampered by the 4-player co-op
perhaps
limit and stuff. That's a big thing getting in the way with that. I think along the lines of even having Cobra do his Thunderdome PvP events, I would love to see space battling.
Yeah.
But the ships move so fast, and they cover so much ground that you could never really accurately cover that in a video.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to put on like how Cobra does his PvP event, like you could never do that with ships because it just is.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, I know, is some PC mods. They have like in-game like fake characters, and they will record from that POV of a fake character. And I'm pretty sure someone can mod a camera and set it so it follows like specific people or something.
I mean, the only way that, like the space battles would work is if all the players involved, like actually recording their gameplay and then sent it to the person that's putting it on, so they can splice it and edit it and stuff.
But that requires everyone obviously being able to record, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, if you're on PlayStation, it's easy to record. So I mean, like
but obviously, if the person who's uploading it is requiring a certain quality, obviously, if you've only got the bog standard PlayStation, it only records at 720, doesn't it?
Yeah. PlayStation's recording sucks, man. I used to be so hyped about that, and then I figured out, even with the Pro, it's not really that good.
No.
And the fact that you can't send videos over PlayStation Message is a really big downer.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you have to upload your video to a USB, and then USB to computer, and then send it to somebody that way. And depending on how big the file size is, like, it might not be able to send it even over Skype, like,
or Facebook via the PlayStation.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's for people that have
or
Facebook.
Twitter.
Not everybody.
Agreed. Yeah.
Even on Twitter, though, there's a size limit, I believe. It's not like you could upload like a 15-minute clip and have it come out that good. I mean, there's a certain limitation how much you can upload on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a bit of a weird one. What are your thoughts on these community events in general, then? Do you reckon it's, apart from obviously that you're thinking they're not going to be very viable week in, week out, without getting boring?
I just think that over time they're just going to be repetitive, and they're just going to be like fetch quests and stuff like that. And
do you think it's going to be also entirely based on the rewards? Because obviously, when you get games such as Destiny, where they have weekly events on and stuff, and they're pretty much the same events. It's just they're a different event each week, obviously, but they're just the same missions, just being replayed on every 4 or 5 week.
I'm just really confused. And one thing that's really confusing with me, the weekly events, are the prizes. Like, are the prizes going to be in a weekly rotation, so it's not the same thing every single week?
So obviously with the whole community event, community has been unlocked. We've also got this Quicksilver store, haven't we? Which is in the back of Polo's ship behind. It's Naga, isn't it? Where Naga sits or stands usually. And
up in that pedestal.
Yeah, so when we do these events, these community events, and we hand them in to Polo, or possibly even Naga if we get one from him, we get Quicksilver in return for whatever we collected or give to him or whatever, and we can spend it at this Quicksilver store. And this is obviously equivalent to in-game currency, but you don't pay for any of it currently. And I'm just thinking, I mean, I enjoyed, so obviously we got a new helmet, whatever you want to call it, and also a new emote, which is the Sean Murray Mind Blown emote.
Right.
And then we got a load of statues that we can build, or stickers.
Yeah, one sticker, one fucking decal that I will never ever buy.
So yeah, the first two are cool, like the whole helmet thing. I mean, I can understand why they add decals and stuff as well. It's just the statues seem a bit weird. Like, I don't know why they have to have 3 variants of the same statue. So,
yeah, because like you can buy the gold, silver, or bronze. Like, what's the point?
Not only that, they're the same price as well. They don't range, because obviously you would have thought gold would have been more expensive than the bronze one. but they're not. They're all the same price.
This all boils down to me where it's a great idea, but it's implemented very bad.
Oh, really? Or too quickly. And
or too quickly, or whatever. Like,
things are in.
I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about this whole thing. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's, you know what? It's cool to get the community together, but you know what happens when that happens? You're only seeing orbs, and like this goes back to the whole frickin' thing that I've been complaining about since the very start. Like, you know how much cooler it would be if we all, because like you see people where like there's lobbies of like 16 people on a planet or whatever, 16 people in a lobby, and you're all running around together digging up this shit, and guess what? You're still all orbs. Like it's so like this is what makes me. This is why I complain about this. It's because it's would be so much better if we could just see each other. But you can't. So these community events, like, I'm not going to say they don't make sense, but it takes away from the immersiveness of the event because you're just seeing orbs, instead of seeing actual real player models. So like this goes back to like my fundamental thing that I don't like about this. Like, it's like a broken record, but like you're seeing it happen. Like you're seeing it in real time. Like this is the problem with this whole thing with only being 4-player co-op. Like it's just you can't see enough. You can't see random players. Like that's a fundamental problem with this. I have. Yeah. I mean, like, and this brings it out in full force right here. So they got to fix that. They have to figure out a way to sync other people's gameplays up, like random players, and so everybody sees each other's avatar. Even if it's still a 16-player lobby, like you should be able to see 16 players, regardless if they're in your party or if they're random players. Like it should automatically just sync people up that are in that lobby.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know. I can't. I sound like a broken record, man. It's just a missed opportunity. I feel like it's a missed opportunity for.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just implementing things a little bit quickly, and the whole package isn't ready yet, or well, I mean, because obviously, when they announced that they're doing these community events, they said it was going to be starting the second week that the update drops, and obviously we're about 5-6 weeks in since the update.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only just dropped, so I reckon they were just teething issues, and maybe they were focusing on obviously getting rid of the majority of the bugs from dropping the update before they actually did these community events.
I would rather have them spend time making bigger player lobbies instead of having player events. Like to me, that makes more sense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I guess it depends as well. I mean, if there had been a massive outcry about the whole multiplayer thing, then maybe they would have concentrated on that.
There has been. I mean, they came out with that update on 1.58 where pretty much people can go back to play the game like it was before the multiplayer happened. Like, you could turn off all the settings so you can't even see anybody and no one can join your game anymore. Like, it made all that work that Hello Games did pointless now.
That was available when the update dropped. Like I turned off the network so no one could join the game until I turned it back on again.
So what was the point of spending the time on giving everybody?
Yeah, but not everyone obviously wanted multiplayer though, did they?
No, that's true, I guess.
So it was there to give people the option of whether they wanted people to join the game or play multiplayer or not.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I haven't hit the join random player button in like a long time, so I don't know how it is now since 1.58 came out. But I can imagine that no one has have a random player join your party anymore. I mean, like it probably would sit there for the God damn it, cat! Oh shit! It would probably sit there for like the longest time trying to find another person, and it's just a person that is just new to the game. Not like I mean. I understand why people are pissed because there are people taking advantage of joining people's games and deleting bases, and I'm glad like that was something that needed to get fixed. Mm-hmm. Random people should not be allowed to join your game and then delete your base on you. Yeah. So like that needed to get fixed right away. But But everything else should be fair game. I don't like how you can choose not to get injured by another player. I think that's part of the game.
Obviously, it is now. It wasn't obviously intended to be originally.
True, I get that. But
so obviously, people who bought the game 2 years ago thinking, okay, I'm happy with this, I'm not going to get attacked by anyone. They've had the game for 2 years, and because everyone, not everyone, obviously, is inclined to obviously go out and attack random people, even if it is just for fun. And it is obviously, if they don't have any intention of doing that, it's obviously ruining their game as well. But then you do what you suggested though, where you find like-minded people who are doing that, and obviously like with Cobra's dome that he's doing, where bring your friends in, you go at it, and you all have a good time. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to appease everyone at the same time, and obviously in life you can't please everyone, can you? So
no, I get it. I gave up on, to be honest with you, man. I gave up on the whole PvP thing because it's broken the way that Hello Games has it set up right now. I'm not sure how much you've watched Cobra's Thunderdome coverage or whatever.
Right.
But a lot of people have figured out that there's one weapon that is clearly broken and it's overpowered.
Right.
Me and a guy by the name of LawOfEvolution, shameless plug, if you don't know who that is, he's an awesome YouTuber of No Man's Sky. I suggest you go and subscribe and watch his videos because he's phenomenal. Me and him have been getting together over the past couple weeks and doing a lot of theory crafting and build setups for multi-tools and ships and stuff like that. After the first time, like when the Blaze Javelin is the weapon that's incredibly broken. After the first time that started making its way into the arena for the Cobra's Thunderdome, I did testing on it with LawOfEvolution. The way Halo Games has it is that the damage your gun can do is different damage from what you can do player versus player, opposed to player versus Sentinel or player versus creature or anything like that. And the way that they have it, it seems that like every single weapon can potentially do the same amount of damage in one clip, I guess is the right way to say it.
Okay.
And but that's not really necessarily the case. The damage numbers that proc up for damage per se are broken. They're not registering the right way.
Right.
And I said the only way I can really explain this is that me and him were doing testing, and I had a shotgun, the scatter blaster, whatever the fuck it's called, right? I stood point blank to LawOfEvolution, right? So I didn't miss one pellet leaving my shotgun or anything like that. Point blank, right? Mm-hmm. Each time I shot him, it registered at 192 damage, right?
Right, but he was taking more than 192.
Well, see, here's the thing. So I could do say I could do 6 full shots out of one clip in my shotgun. Mm-hmm. So what is that? I mean, that's almost 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'd say almost like 1,100 damage I'm putting out, right? So, and that's one full clip out of not missing one pellet out of the shotgun. I did one full charge up on the Blaze Javelin, and when it hits the player, it only registers as 92 damage. But in reality, that one shot from the Blaze Javelin, even though it says it's like less powerful than just one shot of the shotgun, it does just as much damage as a full clip if you laid full clip into somebody with a shotgun. Right. So realistically, there's no benefit to running that at all. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the pulse spitter. I had 148 bullets in my clip. I stood point blank range to Law, and I put every single shot into him. Didn't miss one pellet, no nothing. I was putting up crazy damage numbers, and it only did just as much damage as one full charge of the Blaze Javelin. So that means, and so okay, you think, okay, that sounds fair. I mean, but it's not, though, because I could get 3 full charge shots out of the Blaze Javelin in the time it took me to unload 1 clip of either the
so you're
pulse
doing like
spitter.
3,000 damage.
Yeah, and still the damage numbers don't add up right. I'm still doing 92 damage, 92 damage, 92 damage. You know what I'm saying? Instead of while the other weapons are putting out crazy damage numbers, you're not doing any more damage than just 1 full charge. I mean, so it's incredibly broken, and we also found out that the Blaze Javelin can shoot through walls for some reason.
Right.
So that kind of negates the whole thing for Cobra's Thunderdome, because you could shoot people if they're hiding behind like a wall or whatever. You could just shoot right through it. So it's I gave up, and Hello Games is never going to fix that, just because they don't want PvP to begin with. They're never going to fix PvP guns or damage for player versus player ever. I have no faith that they ever will. Especially with the outcry where they had to go and change all the settings so everybody's crying because they're getting injured or whatever like that, instead of just building yourself up so you're really strong, so if someone tries to do that shit to you, like, you could just fight them back. So they're never going to fix that, and it's incredibly broken, and I just gave up on it, man. I gave up. It's pointless now. I don't know.
By the sounds of it, then, is No Man's Sky getting a bit boring for you now? Yeah,
to be honest, yeah. Because I've done everything pretty much that the update has to offer, and the one thing that I was really looking forward to was all the stuff that was going on before Next came out, all the shit talking and all the preparations of this and that, and it's pointless. I have nothing else to do in the game, and the game's only been out for a month
6
and a half.
weeks, yeah.
I'm not sure who to blame, whether it's the percentage of the community that is just raging about it, or if Hello Games is to blame for this, to giving in to a percentage of the community, or if they just don't want it. I'd rather them not even put that in the game than what we have right now, because what we have right now is garbage. I mean, it's kind of trash. And the thing about it is that I know they're never going to fix it. So what we're stuck with is garbage. And the only thing they're going to do is make it more irrelevant, I guess. So I wish they never put it in the game. I wouldn't be sitting here complaining about it right now if they didn't have it there. I mean, I would be salty that they left it out, but I mean, not as salty as I am right now. I mean, it's kind of a buzzkill for me.
When did you last play No Man's Sky?
Maybe Monday.
Wow.
I haven't even done the community event. I've watched people do it. I've watched people do it. I don't see a point. The only thing I would really want out of it would be the helmet, and I don't even use that. I don't even use that character model. So for me, the helmet is pointless. I use the Traveler character model, so you can't even put helmets on the Traveler character model. So for me, like, the only thing I would want out of that whole thing would be the helmet. I thought they said they were going to have an exotic ship or something like that. Maybe down the road they will.
Okay.
That would probably be the only thing that I would really want to go after. But in the meantime, I don't care about trophies. The trophies don't mean anything. They don't give you any special perks. That fucking decal I'll never buy, and if I could, I would do the emote of me taking a shit on it if they had that emote. The mind blown emote is probably cool. That's cool and everything, but I mean, if everybody has their multiplayer turned off, what's the point? Because no one's gonna see it besides you. So I don't know. I tell you, dude, this game went from being one of my most favorite games and me defending it time and time again to people to the point where I'm just losing faith in it, man. I don't know what happened. They just went in the wrong direction. I feel like.
For you or just in general?
I think Hello Games just went in the wrong direction with this. I don't know. I don't know what happened, man. I mean, I hate the argument where people are like, oh, well, why don't you just go and explore, or do whatever, this and that. Hello, what the fuck, people? I'm a day one player. I've been doing it for 2 years now. I've explored for 2 fucking years. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, there's nothing else out there new for me to do. Like, I did base building for a year. I've done it all. Like, it's pointless. Like, I don't know. I love the game. It's just, I don't know. I think they went in the wrong direction. And I think they gave in to a certain percentage of the player base as far as pressure is concerned. And I don't know, man. People, I don't know. I don't get it. But hey, you know what, man? I'm excited for Fallout 76. I'm excited for Tomb Raider. Hopefully Fallout 76 doesn't go down the same path as Hello Games did with No Man's Sky and PvP, or else there's no point in playing Fallout 76. And I don't know. My mind is kind of taken back by the whole way the community is outcried against this over something that I give them credit because they had an excellent valid point for destroying bases. Okay, take that out. That shouldn't even have been in the game in the first place. But so what if someone comes in your fucking game and kills you? You don't lose anything.
No.
And the player that kills you doesn't gain anything.
Do you reckon they haven't sorted out the whole base? Because obviously the whole base thing existed before Next as well, didn't it? Like, people can come in and delete your base before Next.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's something so fundamentally flawed within the game's general coding that they're not able to change it?
It has to be. I don't understand how it can be. It seems like a simple thing. If someone claims a fucking base, you can't touch it. That's end of story. Like, someone shouldn't have, even pre-Next, someone shouldn't have been able to go on another person's planet and claim a base that you've already claimed. I don't care.
Especially back then when it was a designated space for a base, whereas now obviously you can build bases wherever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that was even a thing. People were taking advantage of that pre-Next.
Or do you think this could be a temporary fix until they've fixed the whole base deleted thing, and then once that occurs, they take off these new settings?
No. These settings are just going to get worse and worse. They're going to get more restrictive and more restrictive. People are just going to find something to complain about. I have no faith in the community as far as that's concerned. People are just going to be just... Now, what's the next thing that people are going to complain about? Someone came and used a terrain manipulator around my base, and now the terrain is fucked up, so now someone can't come and use a terrain manipulator around your base? I mean, like, come on.
Just fill it in. You can just fill in the whole...
But people are petty, though, man. That's the problem. There's people out there that are so petty. Like, you know what? If you don't want to play multiplayer, unplug the fucking PlayStation, or turn your network off. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't ruin it for the rest of the community. Like, don't make it so restrictive because there's people out there that don't want that type of gameplay. You know what, dude? Like, I can go to my PlayStation right now and I can turn my network options off. And that means that no one can join my game because my PlayStation's not connected to a network, and I can play the game just the way I want to play it. And if I want to play with other people, I can go back in my options and turn that network setting back on.
You didn't even need to go onto the PlayStation settings. You can do it from the settings in game.
Yeah, but that was bugged. That was bugged too, because I actually turned it off a couple times, and I still had people randomly joining my game, even with the network setting off.
Oh, that's never happened to me.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times early on. I don't know if that was a thing that they fixed in one of the patches after the game launched.
Possibly.
But, like, for that first couple weeks, I was turning network settings off just because I wanted to do a couple things, and I had people joining my game. So, I don't know if they fixed that now. But, I mean, from this point on, like, I don't turn that off because I'm not a sore loser. So I don't care if somebody comes in my game and tries to fuck with me. The way that I handle those people is that I kill them, and then immediately I kick them from my game. So if they had anything in their inventory, they can't access it and it's gone. Like, don't come in my fucking game and troll me. Like, I'll welcome it. Like, you want to come in my game and fuck around? Like, that's cool. But, like, you're gonna lose your shit because I'm gonna kill you. You know, so, and then I'm going to kick you from my game, and so you're going to lose everything in your inventory. Same thing with your ship. I'll blow up your ship, too. Like, I'll lose everything in your ship inventory. Like, that's how I handle people that are trolls. Like, I don't sit there and cry about it. I fight, and then I give them a taste of their own medicine instead of fucking going on a forum page and, somebody joined my game and killed me. Guess what? You didn't lose anything. Stop crying about it. Like,
I just do it because I don't like talking to other people. that's basically my only reason to it.
Yeah.
I just turn the network off, and because I don't usually play, like, even PC gaming with multiplayer games. I don't tend to like playing with people that I don't know.
Right.
Just because I'm an antisocial person. I have a very small friend circle and the circle of friends, and I just tend to play with them. And then with other people, I just find it really awkward, so I just stop that all together and just turn the network off and play myself. And if my dad decides to come online, or if Kings is online, or yourself, I'll just turn it on, and then we can play together.
Right.
And then if someone randomly joins then that's fine. I've still got you guys. Do you know what I mean? I've still got you guys to talk to. It's just whenever someone random comes up to me, starts trying to talk to me, I'm just like, yeah, this is awkward. I'm gonna go now. So
you can always go in your settings and mute that person. So even if they try talking to you, you can mute them. So
it's when they start following you around, even if they're not attacking you, and they just start following you around. It's just like, leave me alone. Please, just leave me alone. Please just leave me alone. Go away.
But they're not doing anything though. What if they're just following you around?
Yeah, but if I came to you in real life and just started following you around, would that not just irritate you?
I guess,
especially if you're trying to do something, like if I'm just like, if you're just like shooting the breeze and I'm just following you around, if you're just like walking around, then that's fine. But if I'm trying to do something and they're just there following me, watching me, it irritates me. It really irritates me.
Don't worry, man. I can almost 100% guarantee you that those people won't jump through your TV and follow you around.
They wouldn't be entertained with my actual in-day life. IRL life, so. But yeah, so I think in general my thoughts are it's a little bit boring and a bit underwhelming, the whole community event thing.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I think I don't think they've implemented it wrong. I just think they haven't thought of anything decent to actually do with these community events. I also find the reward ratio, the actual rewards that you get, the Quicksilver, isn't high enough.
No.
Especially, I mean, with the current event, you can either give the individual pieces, or you can give 20 or 50. Is it 20 or 50, or is it 50? No, it's 20 or 50, isn't it? I think.
Well, it's 25 to complete the event, but you can get up to 50. So I'm guessing that gives you more.
You can carry on afterwards as well once you finish the initial event when you first start it. You can carry on going after that as well. You've got 6 days to do it, or 7 days to do it technically.
But you can only turn in just so much though, where you get. Maybe I was watching somebody on PC play it, and once they turned in their initial 25, they couldn't collect the. It was coming up as like just broken technology pieces instead of coming up as the.
I think if you choose the mission again, you go into your mission logs. You can it's in there. 'Cause that what happened to me. Like I finished it, and it said like you can keep going and finding more. I went and I kept getting, like you said, the technology things, and I was like, oh okay. I chose the specific mission in my log. And once the next ones I did, they were back as things that you had to collect. So I don't know if it's something to do with that or if it's just random. But yeah, so I know you can hand in individual ones 20 or 50 pieces. I'm guessing obviously you get more units the more that you hand in. It's just that when I had 8, I handed in them individually, and I was getting, I think, like 2 of these Quicksilver things, and say like if you wanted to get the helmet, that was that 3,000 credits?
It was either 2,000 or 3,000. I forgot how much it was, but
I was like,
it was one of the more expensive items.
Exactly, and this is just going to be boring as all hell trying to find these. So I just think it's a bit implemented wrong, and the ratio is perhaps wrong for specifically the rewards that you get as well. It's a bit off.
I mean, I know it's a community event, and I know a lot of the community was doing the hidden treasure things like early on. But I mean, I don't know anybody that was doing that with other people.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
so
technically, it's not a community event because you're not all working towards a specific goal. It's individual events, what everyone can participate in.
You know how they should have did it was everybody in the community, they gathered stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And depending on how much, and it added up into a total.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a community event should be.
So, everybody's contributing to a common goal.
Yeah.
And depending on how much the community contributed would be what things you have open for you to buy.
Yeah.
To me, that seems like a community event because the way it's...
We include the things what we've got now as individual things, but then at the end of it, if we got enough, we should unlock this thingy ship that you're on about.
Right.
The exotic ship. If the community reaches the specific goal, it'll unlock this exotic ship.
Yeah, I just don't see. God damn it, cat! Hold on, I got a cat
okay.
Behind my computer monitor.
It's okay, but yeah, I just think in general it's kind of a bit underwhelming, and such. So,
like I said, I think it's a great idea. I just think it's poorly implemented.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fundamental problems with it, and I think it details some major flaws with the game in general, just because of...
It still shows that the game is in early access, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's, it's still in development constantly, so... Right, let's get rid of No Man's Sky for the time being then.
Please.
And let's move on to my hot topic for the week. Cyberpunk 2077, yay! Now, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if it drops PAX. What did you say, West? PAX West?
It's at PAX West is going on right now.
Yeah, so I don't know if it dropped there, but either way, CD Projekt Red released the new version of that 50-minute demo that they had at E3.
Mm-hmm.
They released it to the general population. I think this demo is the one what's currently it was the one at E3, but it's had improvements done to it since then, and this is the one I think what's currently at PAX now, or was on at PAX. So yeah, and we've all been able to see this, and this is in-game footage, and it looked incredible. Is all I can say.
I've actually been sitting here watching this gameplay as we've been talking, and it seems like there's a lot of nudity in it.
Yes.
a lot of nudity, which is good. I'm glad there's finally an adult game out there.
So if you played, if anyone's played, obviously The Witcher 3 and the previous Witchers that matter, they're very adult-driven games. So they're not really meant for children. I mean, you get things like GTA, which is supposedly an adult game, but it's funny. A lot of stuff is funny in it, especially like the older GTAs, like San Andreas and things like that. They got like some things which can be taken for not for kids to play, but they're appealing to children or younger teens to play. But this is very much an adult game aimed at mature audiences. I do have some notes written down here. So obviously how far through the video
I have one. I watched the whole thing. So
okay.
I have one concern about this whole gameplay footage.
Right.
And they actually have it advertised throughout the video that this isn't the final version or whatever. I'm not sure how much you've been following Spider-Man, but they did a lot of comparisons to what they said was actual gameplay footage to what we're actually getting, and the graphics aren't as good. Anywhere near as good. Even on PS Pro, Spider-Man said that the people that make Spider-Man said that the Pro can't even handle the graphics that they want to give, so it's downgraded.
Is it coming onto PC?
I don't
Spider-Man?
know.
Right.
I don't know.
So no, it's console
worried,
exclusive on PlayStation.
Right. I'm just worried that this game is going to go down that same path because some of these graphics that look at this game just look phenomenal, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to. Like maybe on PC, like it might look this good, but I don't think it's going to look this good on consoles.
Well, it never says in that video, as far as I remember, that it's running on. Because usually in these kind of demos, they tend to say this is running on either PC or PlayStation 4 Pro, don't they?
No, it doesn't. Nowhere does it say anything like that.
So I think it's safe to say that's probably running on PC.
Yeah, like maybe like a $4,000 PC setup.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The graphics look so freaking good. Like
they do that with all these, especially with this game being still in development. That will be probably running it on PlayStation because on PC just in case something happens when they're originally playing the video and stuff. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that it is running on PC. So I still think we'll get a fairly decent render of the game.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it will look good. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not going to look good, but it's not going to look anywhere near what it's looked like in this gameplay footage that we see.
Yeah, I think saying that though, I think also with what we're going to get, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be more. It's going to be so immersive that that will take away. That will hide the graphical changes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think any good RPG does. If it's so, like, I mean, if you play Skyrim now, you can tell it's a 7-year-old game, but because it's still extremely immersive, you kind of forgive it for that, and it's still got replayability to it. So yeah, I think that kind of covers it. I've got notes here, so in case none of you have watched it, obviously it is a 50-minute video, so I'm guessing not everyone has watched it from scratch to end. They've just skipped through and seen bits of it. So I've got all the things that I can like gameplay features. So starting from the beginning, deep customization system. You get to choose a male or female character. The name is irrelevant. I think the character is always called V. You get to choose a background story. For the character, a biometric scan, which is the physical appearance, so like changing facial features, hair, and that kind of stuff. Then you also get to change the general appearance, so like tattoos and clothes, that kind of thing. And then you get biostats, which will be your stats, so like strength, dexterity, etc. So that's pretty bog standard for any RPG. Now, if anyone didn't know about this game, it is based off of a tabletop RPG, so like original pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons kind of shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think CD Projekt Red does, because obviously The Witcher is based on books as well. Mm-hmm. That's not an original idea by CD Projekt Red. The Witcher, they are actually based off of books from Poland.
Wait, so the people that made Witcher make this game?
Yeah, it's CD Projekt Red.
Oh, this is going to be a great game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have to even say anything about it.
Yeah, so I don't know what other games they've made. My only knowledge is that they've made the Witcher series. I'm guessing they probably made a couple of other things.
Honestly, dude, like that's all you got to say is Witcher.
Yeah,
The Witcher 3 was like up there, one of the best games.
And I'm pretty sure this game's been in development for like 6 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on their YouTube channel, they have had a video up for Cyberpunk, and that's like 5 years old.
Did they say that this is just a single player game? Is there multiplayer in this game?
I'm guessing it's just a single player, but from watching the video, obviously with this Jackie character who helps out around a lot with you, I'm reckoning that multiplayer might be in the game at some point.
Right.
It might get announced, because that would be cool. It'd be very cool. Let me just go onto their YouTube channel. I just want to double check, see how old that video is. Cyberpunk 2077, which is their YouTube channel there. Yeah, they've got a video trailer they got 3 trailers from 5 years ago on the Cyberpunk 277 YouTube channel.
Right.
So yeah, this game's been in development for at least 5 to 6 years, maybe even longer. So, yes. You also have a fluid class system, so you don't pick whether you're going to be like a warrior, so like in Skyrim terms, like a warrior or a mage or anything. You pretty much just build whatever character you want, whichever strengths and weaknesses you want to have. It's a first-person shooter, and the HUD is very minimalistic as well. It doesn't invade your screen that much, does it? Everything is really pushed up to the edges. You'll get like the odd like phone call with a video in the top left corner, but it's a very clean HUD. What you get with the game. There's a part where you sneak behind someone and you do a takedown, and it gives you 2 choices. You can get a non-lethal and a lethal takedown. But I love the takedowns because it looks like they're environmental takedowns. So obviously she pushes this guy's head into this vat of water and shoots him under the water, so it muffles the sound. So I'm loving the environmental takedowns there. You get like, you can take like drugs and they enhance your abilities. So like there's a reflex enhancer where she was like slowing shit down and just able to do amazing stuff. Destructible environment. She was hiding behind a pillar when she was getting shot at, and chunks of the pillar was coming out everywhere. These little things you don't tend to get with RPGs, do you? Because obviously with the RPGs there's so much information in them because of the story and all that kind of stuff, and all the NPCs. Like things like destructible environments just don't seem to be a thing in RPG games. There's just so much stuff going on in this 50-minute demo. It's incredible. The combat movement was really smooth when she was like dodging, like going from one piece of cover to another piece of cover, stuff like that. Multiple choice responses, so it's a full RPG experience. It looks like you can control Jackie as well, so you're telling him to either cover you or for him to carry the body that you were recovering.
Right.
Flying vehicles, which is awesome. Which will be very reminiscent of The Fifth Element to me. Have you seen that film?
Yeah.
Oh, it just reminded me of The Fifth Element when they were trying to capture Lilu when she was climbing out of the building, and that and in this demo there's the medical that medical flying vehicle comes down and they get out with the guns and shit. It's an interactive world, so there's advertisements all over the place, and if you go up to these advertisements, it will cater to your character's needs and things. So, like at that point, it told her that there's a drinks machine over a certain corner, and it'll come up on your HUD, telling you where it is. I'm wondering if they're going to try and implement some kind of real-world advertising into those things. They're trying to make it into a fully open world with no loading screens as well. It's got an enhanced, yeah.
I don't see that happening. There's always loading screens. I mean, No Man's Sky loading screens, but there's loading screens all over the place. So.
They're hidden, aren't they? They're hidden like the things like
they hide them. Trust me, but there's
the elevators and things like that. And this is probably one of my favourite things: the enhanced crowd systems. So when she comes out of her apartment building and she goes into the city proper, it's there's like literally crowds of NPCs everywhere. And obviously you just watched the video. Don't they look like they're almost like all individual NPCs? Like there's a lot of customization on each of them. So it looks like they're not like when you go to other RPGs and you see like I don't know about 10 versions and that's it of individual NPCs, and you know every city's got like a version of one of them. somewhere. But there's so many people.
I think the game looks great. It just worries me that they had to put that disclaimer up that this is not the final product, which means that like maybe they're showing better version of the game that will actually be out. Regardless, I think it's still going to look really good. I just worry that it's maybe won't look as good as what we're seeing right now.
I mean, it applies to everything though, doesn't it? Like the whole disclaimer about it, it's subject to change. So it includes things like just little things like the hood. The hood might change. Things like that. So the whole point before the release the demo was the fact that the game is currently in a playable form from start to finish, and they're pretty much bug fixing until the release of the game and doing some of the some of the assets until they release the game. So essentially, they could release this game now, and it would look like that. Obviously, graphic permitting consoles and stuff. But yeah, where do we get a 4-day night cycle as well? You go to Ripper Docks, which give you your mods and your upgrades. You can get hold of illegal military grade upgrades as well on the black market. Vehicles are drivable. Well, I'm saying that vehicles are drivable. They only showed the one vehicle that you could drive.
Here's the thing: can you get into other vehicles on the street and drive them?
Exactly.
That's like a Grand Theft Auto type of thing, where you can get into any vehicle and drive it. Like that. I'm
hoping so, because I'm hoping that you're not always doing missions with Jackie all the time. So this Jackie is like a side character, and this demo you're driving his car. The only other time that you get into another vehicle is when you're receiving a mission of another character. So yeah, we'll see. I imagine so, because this city looks massive, and it's obviously you need to find a way to get around. So
like is there going to be like car customization where you can buy a brand new car and customize it, or you know what I'm saying? Like, is there going to be like that? Like that would be something that I would kind of want to look forward to.
That would be cool. Random encounters which are affected by the choices that you make. So in one scene, you're in the car, and then these guys who you attacked their gang earlier in the demo, they're trying to get revenge on you basically, and you've got to take them out. Controllable robots as well in the game, or at least they'll be like little allies where if you get attacked they'll help out and whatnot. There's gangs in the game, like we spoke to before. There was one gang, and they were they like hackers? I can't remember what were they called again.
Seems like it. I mean,
yeah. And then there was this other gang called the Maelstrom Gang, and they were pretty much all robotic. Right. Like they had so much customizable robotics on them. There's an inspection mode which helps you request items. So a bit like the inspection mode in the Batman game from Telltale's. You're looking for clues. Modded weapons like that, and there's boss fights as well. So that's all I've got written down for it. But I'm thinking this looks incredible. It's definitely going to be something that we're going to cover until release. Still thinking, especially with them announcing it's going to be just bug fixes and such, it's going to be a 2019 release.
No, I don't think it's going to be any earlier. It's not. It's not coming out this year. So.
No, definitely not. So yeah, expect this to come out at least at the earliest 2019. I would personally say either this time next year or later. I can't see it coming out like March time, because they got things like the Division 2 coming out in March.
No, I don't think I'm not planning on seeing this much before. I mean, maybe after E3. That's like kind of when I think it's going to come out. But I mean, I've been wrong plenty of times before, I guess. But it just seems that way. I mean,
you were wrong about what do you call it? Bethesda.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with that. I mean, because just because they announced Starfield or whatever, it doesn't mean it's going to come out anytime soon. So,
I agree.
As much as I want the game like right now,
yeah,
I don't picture that Not even next year. I don't even think it's going to come out next year.
No, definitely not. It's a 2020 game at the earliest.
Yeah.
Starfield. I mean, they always announce, unless it gets leaked, at E3 Bethesda.
All hands on deck right now for Fallout 76. They really got to make that work, or else it's going to be a failure. So I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have a team working on.
It's a scapegoat. Starfield. The whole. I reckon Fallout 76 is a scapegoat. It has scapegoat capabilities because if it doesn't go right, they can just use the whole thing about them saying we've never tried this before. It was a experiment, yada yada, etc. etc.
I'm just worried that Fallout 76 is the community of Fallout 76 is going to go the same way.
No, I reckon it's different. I mean, the No Man's Sky community is a very, compared to Fallout fans, it's a very different style of fan, and not only that, the numbers as well is very different. It's a lot more of a closed community, the No Man's Sky one, rather than the Fallout one. So, and I think that as well. Not only that though. Fallout 76 is being very clear pretty much from day one what it is going to be. Whereas obviously No Man's Sky, for the first year and a half, it wasn't going to have multiplayer at all. So, yeah.
Sorry, my son just got home.
It's okay. I think we've done it anyway. So yes, guys, let us know your thoughts on the whole community events with No Man's Sky.
Our son, which means plural, which means both of us, honey. My son that was made by myself and my wife just got home.
Time for the mayhem. Yeah, so like I was saying, you guys let us know your thoughts on the whole community system, what's being brought into No Man's Sky. Also, let us know if you watched the Cyberpunk 2077 demo. Let us know your thoughts on it.
You should link that video down in the description.
I will indeed. I will indeed. I will also link in your friend YouTuber.
Oh, Law? Yeah. Dude,
yes.
I'm not sure if you've ever watched him before, man, but he's
well,
good at it.
I will link him in the description down below as well. I also want to announce that we have merch. That's right.
Oh, I've seen that.
We have merch, and we have one sale so far. That is linked on the YouTube channel. It's also will be in the description below. We've got two variants. The original Galactic Explorers logo, and then we've got a new one that I've put up as well.
I like the. Is that the circle one they showed?
Yeah, that's the circle one. Yeah. And then we've got it on mugs as well. So if you want a mug, if you want a cup of Joe, then you can have it in an official Galactic Explorers mug.
Sure, it even works for a glass of tea as well for all the people over.
Well, I don't drink either, so it's all weird and horrible to me. So, but yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Jeff, for joining me as well.
Dude, it's always a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much, and from us to you, we shall see you next time, guys.